Let's stay on the topic of beautiful Bobby with this next question from a longtime Cult of Cornette member, Victoria, a.k.a. Fat Kid Cool, on Twitter.
Oh, her again?
One of the elders, I believe, of the cult.
She's bribing you at this point, I think, to ask all these questions.
All right, this should be interesting. Is Jim familiar with... hold on. Maybe
is Jim familiar with dogs barking while he does a podcast?
Is Jim familiar with Swami barking at every single person that comes to his door, no matter who it is, man or woman? Swami, shut up! All right, well... I'll try to do this question.
Now, that almost sounded abusive, and I know you love that little thing.
I'm on the second floor. He's on the first floor. That takes the abuse out of it. It's just
all right.
Elevate my voice to make sure that I'm heard above the barking. Is Jim familiar with this Arn and Bobby Eaton road story, and was he ever a victim of the dreaded Bobby Eaton burp and blow?
Oh, good Lord. Bobby, well, I assume this is what Arn was referring to without hearing the story.
Well, I actually have Arn's story here if you want me to really quickly
Okay, we'll go ahead.
Bobby Eaton and I used to play a game called Burp and Blow, which I'm sure every egghead in the business has done. You burp, then you blow on your buddy. One Sunday, we were on Interstate 70 in Missouri. It was pouring rain. I was driving and Bobby was sitting in the passenger seat. He leaned over to burp and blow. Bobby, being a drinking man, didn't anticipate that when he burped, he would throw up. Sure enough, he did, all over my chest. Now realize I'm doing 70 miles per hour in a monsoon, and when the funk hit me in the nose, I started puking. And when I started puking, Bobby started puking again.
Yeah, again.
I jerked the car off the road and got out. I jerked my shirt over my head to take it off, which made me even sicker. Then I jerked my pants off, and I'm on a major U.S. highway, buck naked, puking all over the highway. Bobby was in the same situation out the passenger door. To top it off, ring announcer Tony Gillum was in the back seat, and he was laughing so hard that he pissed his pants. So, Jim, any stories about the burp and blow?
Well, and actually, not only that, but I can beat this story here in a second because I have a story that cleared out 4 guys out of a car puking all at the same time. However, the burp and blow from Bobby was especially dangerous because if he was drinking the small Miller ponies and the little small bottles, right? And the beer burp was, oh my God, because I'm not a beer person anyway. So the beer burp would get you. But Bobby had he was throwing stones in the glass house because we've talked about, and people have talked about it before. Arn's talked about it, how weak Bobby's stomach is. And how that you can pretty much talk him into at least retching and dry heaving, if not outright throwing up, without making any noises or any smells or whatever, just talk him into it. But if I use it, because I've got bad sinuses, had bad sinuses all my life, so I've produced some spectacular boogers. And I could just sit in the back seat and work up a booger on my left index finger. And once I got it on there, especially if it was green and maybe had a blood vein in it, I could just tap Bobby on the shoulder. And when he turned around and saw it on the end of my finger, he would automatically vomit. Of course, I was in the back seat and he was in the front seat, so it didn't really harm me much. I told a story recently about the time that I cleared Dennis Condry's van out of Dennis and Bobby and me and I believe Carl Fergie, maybe even Buddy Landell, with a vicious fart that everybody just hit the doors at the same time at the gas station. But in Memphis, Tennessee, one night in, I believe it was 1990, we achieved the incredible 4-person car clearer, right? Because we're in Memphis, so Bill Dundee has come over to visit, and he's following us back to our hotel at the airport. It's me, Stan, Bobby, and Bubba. So it couldn't have been 1990. It had to be earlier. But me, Stan, Bobby, and Bubba. We're driving back to the goddamn hotel. Dundee is following us. Well, Stan is eating some kind of snack. And Bubba and I are both kind of sick with colds, and Bobby's already drinking his beer in the back because it's after the show. And so some way or another, I got started with a phlegmy cough, and Bubba got started with a phlegmy cough. Well, when that happened, because of the sound of the croupiness and the phlegm, and I think maybe Bubba spit something up, Bobby starts retching and dry heaving and then starts, really getting into it like he's going to puke. And now Stan starts laughing at him, but Stan's eating the snacks, so he gets kind of choked and he starts coughing too, which makes Bobby retch worse, which causes me and Bubba, even though we're sick and coughing, to start laughing, which makes us cough worse. By the time we go another fucking half mile down the road, I have to pull over to the side, and we all four jumped out of the car from respective doors and start throwing up on the side of the road, and Dundee pulls over behind us wondering what the fuck has happened all at the same time. But we were coming back from Little Rock, Arkansas to Alexandria, Louisiana one night, and Dennis, we'd stopped to get barbecue at this little gas station, because that's where you ate after the show in Little Rock. You get down to the state line and there's a gas station that sold barbecue. So we get that and a bunch of fucking, snacks and everything. And as we're driving down the road, Dennis goes to throw the fucking barbecue out the window, what's left of it, basically just the bones and some sauce, and the wind catches it. And it flies back, and it looks like somebody sprayed me with a machine gun. And in the dark, it looks like I've been bloody and shot, and Bobby starts puking at that. One time, he puked when I did the same thing with Kentucky Fried Chicken gravy and threw it out the window, and it came back on my hand. And Stan said, "Look at that, Bobby. Doesn't that look like baby shit?" And he started puking, even though he knew it was gravy, and I'd just been eating it. So, yeah, Bobby has a very weak stomach, and you can make him just – if you fart on him, he'll puke. It just any kind of horrible noise or disgusting sound or smell, or even sometimes the idea of same will make Bobby just throw up.